Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Costantino.
The important lesson here today.
On today's first episode of my series, What Makes This Dish Great, we're going to take a look at a New England-inspired cod dish featuring fresh cod paired with Portuguese chorizo sausage, the New England staple of beans, and the classic French mirepoix, all coming together to make a delicious dish. A great dish always starts with fresh fish. Here we have some cod, which we're going to salt and pepper with kosher salt and freshly ground pepper. We talked about the importance of these two ingredients in another video, which I'll link to the bottom of this one, called Simple Things, using salt, pepper, and fresh herbs. So we season both sides of the fish, very important. We have some regular flour here for dredging, which we're going to use. We're going to coat the fish well, all the way around. These are beautiful cod loins. These each weigh about 3 ounces apiece. We have other ingredients here we're going to use. You see the chorizo. We have the olive oil for cooking. You see some mirepoix, some butter, some beans, and some tomato. So in our saute pan, we're going to get it nice and hot so we can get a good sear on the cod. And the cod goes right into the hot olive oil. We're using a pure olive oil here for cooking, which is consistent with the flavor of the dish. And here we're going to put some butter in. And this is an important step because the butter is going to add color and flavor to the fish as it cooks. So very important we get a good crust. You see we are basting the fish with this hot butter. We turn and you can see a nice brown crust there, and continue to baste. And finally we're going to transfer our fish and place it in the oven briefly just to get it cooked fully. Putting that butter over the top. In the pan we're going to add our chorizo, and we want to cook this briefly. Get a little bit of the fat out of it, and adding the mirepoix. That's carrots, celery, and onion diced. And let that cook with the chorizo. And now we're going to put our tomatoes in. Let them exude their moisture. And in go the beans. We have cooked white beans here. These are Great Northern white beans. The same beans that you would see used in a Boston baked beans. We let that simmer. A little bit of vegetable stock in here. The vegetable stock is going to help to get heat into the beans and also bring all the flavors together. You want to simmer that until it's well reduced. And when we have just a little bit of moisture left, we want to bring our seasoning in, salt and pepper. And finally, our butter. Very important to finish with some butter here. This is going to give a delicious flavor to the fish. And here we're ready to plate. We're going to finish with some fresh herbs. We're adding those fresh herbs now. Very important to get that nice flavor into the fish. You can see the amount of moisture we have. This is a bean stew with the chorizo. It's going to have a delicious flavor. We're going to plate that to a nice deep dish. See that liquid is just slightly thickened from the butter. We're carrying all the flavors of the chorizo and the vegetable. We're going to plate our fish on top so we have a nice textural balance here. Crispy fish with the soft beans and the moisture underneath, finishing with some fresh herbs, and that's a great dish.